Okay, so I want to share what I think are great G-Shocks for someone with a small wrist, particularly a guy. Because when I was looking for G-Shocks, for the most part, they are huge. I mean, yeah, there's some reasonably sized ones, but they tend to be on the big side, and I just don't buy into the whole, well, G-Shocks are supposed to be big. No, they don't have to be. Let me zoom in so my wrists don't look as small. So I want to share some of the G-Shocks that I've bought that tend to be a little bit smaller. And maybe people don't talk about these so much, but if you have a small wrist, you might want to take a look at some of these. At least look at them. Maybe they're not your taste, but just give them a little bit look. Just for a reference, I have a 6¼ inch wrist and a wrist table or wrist distance from here to here of about 2 inches. So I'm gonna go through these watches one at a time, and the first one I'm gonna start off with is the GMD F5600. This is the square, I guess, but this is like the women's square watch. This is not a baby G watch, so there are baby G versions of a square, some of which have pretty nice features, but not this watch. This is basically your typical G-Shock square. It's just a little bit smaller. It has all the same features, the 200 water resist, the shock protection, and 4 buttons, your basic overall watch. The reason why I picked this one over the traditional 5600 is I think the 5600 on my wrist is just a little bit too big. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this and the rest of these watches. I have review videos on each watch, but I just kind of wanted to at least highlight and show what it would look like on your wrist. I think this watch is pretty underrated in terms of size. I think it's absolutely perfect, especially when compared to the regular 5600. There are some things I don't like about it, such as the buttons are kind of weird. The light is nice though, which is great. But if we're just talking about strictly size and for the most part, the general features of what a G-Shock should be, I think this does it. There's no baby G on it. Look, no baby G. So it passes that test. So I think this is a watch that a lot of people don't know about. I got this one from Japan. They have different versions on Amazon, but I wanted a plain watch. This watch would be the perfect square for someone with a small wrist. All right, but moving right along, this is an actual men's G-Shock. I know, surprising in my small wrist collection here. This is the GA 2300. This was a new design by Casio, and the reason why I picked it as my first G-Shock, because I stayed away from G-Shock for a while because I thought it was way too big. But the reason why I like this G-Shock was that it's smaller than the traditional 2100. And I know some people don't like the design. I think it's like an X-Men watch because of the cross. I think it looks pretty good. The reason why I got this one was because of the positive display. The other displays, while they look cool, the black one, the gray one, and the pink one, they're too dark, and I wanted to be able to read. So this is probably, I would say, a lot better than your traditional 2100. In my opinion, I think it looks nice. Fit-wise, I think it looks great. I wanted a monocolor watch, and I wanted it to be a mono white watch. And when I looked at what G-Shock had, yeah, they have some nice G-Shock watches, but again, the traditional 2100, too big for my wrist. So I went with this one, and I am actually quite happy with this watch. Strap is pretty comfortable, and overall, yeah, it's a nice looking watch. Okay, moving right along to what I can only describe as an impulse buy, but I'm been wearing it, so it's not totally for nothing. This is the GM S110, not to be confused with the regular 110. And again, a lot of these G-Shocks just happen to be smaller. I know it's no baby G on this one, but this one is marketed towards women. I think it has all the same features as a traditional G-Shock. I think though they don't have the date. There's like no date. Yeah, I wish they had that up on the 9 o'clock side. There's no date, day of the week, I should say. But it has all the nice features, metal with the traditional G-Shock look. And sometimes this will hit things, and so it's nice that there's like added protection on this bezel, even though it's like angular and like not to say rocky, but it's just very angular, right? So it's gonna hit stuff. But I like this watch. I do like the black with the I guess you want to call it the shiny finish, the chrome finish on this particular style. It's a nice watch. Again, I was more of an impulse buy, and I thought, oh no, Casio's gonna run out. And of course, they still have it in stock. but it was on sale, so got it for a good price on the Casio website. So for that matter, I think this would fit people with smaller wrists if they want this look. I mean, you know, looking at G-Shocks now, kind of went a little crazy. You know, when I first started. Once after this one, that kind of opened the floodgate, right? I think that's how it is with Casio watches. But when I got this one and this other one, I'm gonna talk about a little bit at around the same time, and I didn't realize that these are actually quite hard to read. You know, like it's hard to read these watches when it's all like mono and all shiny. So that's my fault, and I end up just basically using the digital display, which is super tiny, to tell time, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell time. You know, you gotta read through all the indices, and it can be a challenge at a glance. It's not as easy as I'd hope. I think the size wise, this would fit someone with a small wrist really well. And again, it has no baby G, nobody's gonna know, it just fits a smaller wrist. All right, now moving on to this bright pink beaut. This is the GMA S2100. I know it looks very similar to the regular 2100, the resin Casio that Casio seems to be. They are riding that pony all the way to the bank. They are making tons of these. But I got this one, and I think people who have smaller wrists should consider getting the GMA 2100 rather than like your traditional 2100. This is smaller, it's thinner, I believe it's lighter. Sorry, I don't have the specs on me, but in terms of size though, it is smaller than your regular 2100. I went to the store, I tried them on both, and I could tell like, oh yeah, this one feels a little bit better. It's basically the same watch, it's just a little bit smaller. Unfortunately though, they do have like more feminine color. So if you're a guy and you're looking for a smaller G-Shock, you know, a Casio resin, you're gonna be very limited on colors. And that's really the reason why I picked the pink one, right? Like you think, oh my gosh, you couldn't get a more masculine one. And yeah, they do have some masculine watches, like in this S2100 style. The problem is they all have the negative display, and I'm like, no, I can't do negative display. It's too much. I need a positive display. I know you might be thinking, well, pink's not much better, but I can read the pink a whole lot better than I can a negative display, just the way that it reads. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of glows. It kind of glows like white or light pink, and then it's dark pink on the background. Then when you click the light, I guess it inverts itself. But it has all the features of the G-Shock, and this is a watch that I most likely I'm going to be wearing in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I just thought it'd be kind of cool because of the, you know, what the watch represents, and very glad I got this one. This one was quite hard to find locally as well as online. Don't even know if they sell it anymore, but got a pretty good price retail for this, so very happy with that. But I would highly encourage people with smaller wrists to consider this GMA S2100. It doesn't have to be the pink one, but just consider some of the colors. Okay, next watch here. This is the metal version of the pink one. You can tell it's a little bit thinner. This is the GMS 2100. I bought it in, of course, the all black because I thought, oh, I need a blackout watch. You know, remember when you felt the same way, you need a blackout watch? Yeah, what was I thinking? But this is the blackout watch I got. I can't read it. It's impossible to read, but it mirrors this watch, except it doesn't have the, it's almost like this one actually. It doesn't have the days of the week here, which is a shame. But size-wise, this one looks good. I do appreciate the traditional, I guess it's is it the metal Casio ones that they produce, whether it's the all metal or whether it's the resin strap or whatever the combination may be. I do like those. They look nice, especially the ones with the, I don't know what it is. It's like the fabric strap. I think those look really good, but too big. I tried it on too big, too thick, too big, and I'm like, ugh. So if I ever wanted a metal one, I knew I'd have to go for this women's one, the GMS 2100, and so I picked this one. And again, it's really hard because there weren't a lot of choices when it comes to positive displays. I think there's like a green one and I don't know, different colors. There might be like a gold one, and there's like a Christmas one. So I think there's like some cool designs, but it's very limited. And so I picked up this one. I think it was about 100. Thought it was a pretty good price for this particular model. Has all the same G-Shock features. It just happens to be a little bit smaller. I don't love it because it's blackout, not because it's a women's watch. It's just, yeah, I mean, I guess as an accessory, it's cool, but honestly, I'd rather just wear my other watches. I'd rather just, yeah. So at that point, I was, you know, after accumulating like what, 4 of these G-Shocks, I'm like, okay, now I know what not to buy. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't look at this watch if you're looking for a small G-Shock. I think it's good, and I think people should consider it if you do have a small wrist but still want this, you know, this Casio metal look. And as a bonus, just as a bonus, I'm bringing this up because it's technically a G-Shock, or at least it belongs in the family, but it is the baby G. It is the BGW 100. And I made a video review about this Frogman. Oh yeah, by the way, it's a Frogman, see? It's legit. Wait, focus, focus, focus. There it is. It's legit, see, it's legit. This is the BGW 100. I got this from Japan, and I wanted a Frogman, that's why. But the Frogman watches, plural, they're too big for my small wrist. And so I was like, oh no, I'm out of luck. But then I found out there's a baby G Frogman, once upon a time. They don't make this anymore. And so I had to go shop online, bought it from Japan. This is my favorite beach watch, and I don't know, I just like it. It's small, it has a fun little, when you push the light, it has a fun little shark. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that on the top. It's like a diver and a shark, and yeah, you can watch that. I think it's just really fun. But I do like this watch. It fits my small wrist really well. I'm glad I got it in the gray, I guess the gray color with the beige-ish band. The band looks kind of different colors, I don't know. But there's a lot of different colors, a lot of different special editions, I guess you could say. And I think those are worth looking at. I think the last time I saw these watches, if you can get one for like 100 to 150, I think that's a good price used. I mean, they're all gonna be used. There's some that are selling for a lot more, and they're new, but then the batteries are dead, but I just can't trust that. So if I do see another one of these, I think even like, I don't know if it was when I made the video, my video review, like there were like several, and now I look online and they're like all gone. So I'm like, oh, did the people that I let the cat out of the bag on that one, did I share the secrets? No, it's fine. But yeah, I would say consider this one. It does have the baby G on it, so you gotta be okay with that. I know I was trying not to talk about baby G, but this is being like a special watch to me. I just wanted to bring it up that, you know, if you want like a G-Shock Frogman and you got a small wrist like me, like, you know, tiny, like a frog's leg, then, you know, you might consider getting this one. So these are just some of the G-Shocks that I bought that they fit my small wrist. I'm not really interested in buying big G-Shocks. I don't want to chance it on the G-Shocks either. I don't want to buy it and have to return it because it's too big. Unfortunately, I'm able to try some on here at the local store just to get the sizing. But what that does is it really kind of like gets rid of a lot of G-Shocks and Casios on my radar. I just don't even look at them because I'm like, oh, is it a 2100? Oh, got it. Yeah, it's way too big. Or is it a 5600? Oh yeah, too big. And it's too bad because I wish that they offered more Casios and G-Shocks in particular in different sizes, but they don't. And again, they tend to run a little large. So I do have to look at a lot of the women's watches. But if you have a small wrist and you want a G-Shock watch, I think these are really great. Again, just to run them down one more time, this is the GMD S5600. This is a G-Shock square that doesn't have baby G on it. Next is the GA2300, the X-Man watch. I think this is a pretty nice watch as well. Then you have the GM S110. If you like this style and you want to bang things with your wrist, this is the one for you. Then you have the GMA S2100, is that right? Yep. This is the resin Casio, the small one. Does everything the men's one does, or the men's version does, just smaller but not as many colors. Then you got the metal version of the GM S2100, pretty nice watch. Just can't read it because this is the blackout version. And if you want a Frogman and join the club, yep, oh, Yeah, I love that frog. Then you got the BGW 100. So these are just some of the G-Shocks that I think would fit on smaller wrists. Again, these are all that I have. This is not the complete collection. I haven't tried all the G-Shocks, but I'm just saying that from someone who has a small wrist and has been collecting G-Shocks, I just want to put this out there for people who might be interested and maybe they're looking at G-Shocks or they've never really looked at G-Shocks because they're so huge traditionally. Well, there are watches in the G-Shock family. You just gotta look a little bit, and on my channel, I do have videos reviewing these watches. So if you want more detail, more information, there you go. So thanks for watching.